What's happening, everyone? Happy weekend. Hope you're doing great out there. I'm excited for this one. I know we had a great stream, man. I had so many great streams this past week. Appreciate everyone coming on and just making it a super good conversation about all kinds of different stuff across the spectrum of the ecosystem, regulation, SEC stuff. A lot of great community stuff. We got a community stream coming up on Tuesday as well. So it should be fun. If you're a builder, reach out. Might be able to have you on as well. Got one or two already signed up for it. Fun stuff. Today, though, I wanted to talk about a topic. I did a poll and I wanted to get some data, and I've compiled some data and I wanted to share it with you today. And we'll get into it as everyone. I'll give everyone a little bit of time to pile in, though. We're not going to start super immediately. We're going to start pretty soon, though. But in the meantime, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun stuff. Hope you're having fun out there. Get to chat in just a minute. Get your questions in. As usual, the solo streams will be going about 30, 40 minutes or so. But I did want to, I can shout out, I saw Yash sent me the link the other day, doyoudefi.com. Pretty cool. So if you go to doyoudefi.com, if it is indeed work, there we go. That was the redirect failed from Twitter redirect failed, but pretty cool. DeFi Codex 2025. I'll put the link over here, doyoudefi.com. It's basically a PDF in a browser. So if you see it download like PDF, don't be confused. It is just a PDF display viewer for this, but pretty cool stuff. This goes through security. It's got a flow chart, how to set up Rabby wallet, sending crypto off an exchange, setting a Coast account, how to use PulseChain bridge, buying hex, mining hex, different practices, definitions. Really put a lot of really good work into this. So shout out to whoever created it. I just added it to on Go Real DeFi. If you go to Go Real DeFi and click on stats down here, that'll take you to bento.me/pulsehexinfo. So bento.me/pulsehexinfo is the direct link. And I added it on here as well. This is a really good resource, by the way, if you haven't seen it. A ton of different stuff captured. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think there's another place, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody give me a link, that has all the different resources like this in one place. It's stuff you've probably never seen before. If you go there, if you've never been there before and you go there, you probably come across some resource that you find interesting that you haven't seen before. So pretty cool stuff. Check that out. But I added DeFi to it. Again, really interesting stuff. Really goes through. Nerd me loves it. The onboarding person me loves it. Even has flow charts of how this stuff works, how to interact with PulseChain, all that stuff. So really cool. Again, setting up Rabby, doing what else? I remember it was talking about sending crypto off an exchange, Coinbase, Kraken. Really good guide here too. So another tool in the arsenal for onboarding. I'm actually working on producing a new onboarding list, a new onboarding playlist. So I'll be also, if you go, I got a list here on Go Real DeFi. If you go here and click onboarding, there are 46 videos. I'll be adding probably a few more videos here pretty soon that are updated, a little bit different style, and will still be super quick ones, short, digestible ones that you can send to people you're onboarding or and all that stuff too to come across. So pretty cool stuff there. Again, you have all the tools you need. And then that's a piece here. Yeah, I was doing some different polls on this. Again, I'm looking for anyone who wants to do an AI stream. So I would like to, anyone who wants to come on and talk about AI. Not really, I mean, you can talk about the coin aspect too. I've kind of talked about this a while back when I did my AI playlist, which again, navigation, click AI. How to do all kinds of different stuff, AI to coding and memes, videos, and all that stuff too. But anyone knowledgeable in AI who wants to come on and do a live stream, I'd like to riff with some people on the show about that. Giving yourself the edge. If you don't know AI, you are missing out. And there's all kinds of different verticals. If you're scared about AI or have some other angle stuff too, that's one thing. But using it to be more productive, it is unbelievably helpful for that. So yeah, I wanted to get into this one, and I've got a lot of data here. And if you notice, I'm wearing a Hedron shirt, by the way. So you cannot accuse me of being maxi products right now. And I've always talked about before too. I'm a maxi for RH's ideals, not necessarily for his products. Of course, they fall in line naturally with that as well. But so this is not me saying PulseChain community coins are helping or hurting or otherwise. But I wanted to do this poll because sometimes I get really good data from it and really good points of view. So I went through, synthesized some of the data, and I wanted to talk about some different points on it as well. So chat, if you could take a look at the poll, give me an answer, just say in the chat. And so that way we can look at the results and get into the data a little bit here too. So helping or hurting, I will wait for someone in the chat to give me an answer. I'll talk to chat while we're talking, while we're waiting as well. Yaltel, how's it going? Welcome. Daniel, MPLs will be huge. That is something that we are aligned on. Certainly want it to be huge in every direction. Price, community, freedom, all that great stuff. Third best. Are you number 3 in the chat today? Nice. Welcome, Diamond Hands. Andre, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Salute to you as well. Mr. Anger tweeting his pretty nose around there. Okay, cool. Can you tag us on Twitter? Just connect us there. I'll take a look at some of this stuff and see if he wants to hop on the show sometime and talk AI. Again, chat, give me an answer to the question. Are PulseChain community coins helping or hurting the core coins? Feel free to explain if you want to as well, or just drop a comment on here, but need a helping or hurting. I'll do elevator music. Don't make me do it. Dum 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 dum. You know what that reminds me of? Depends. That is, we're binary today. We got we either 1 or 0. We're helping or hurting. I know it depends. That's why the question is framed in a way that hopefully is engaging and helps people talk about it and explain their opinions. Not a bad point of view as well, but I need one of them, helping or hurting. When I do think of elevator music too, I think of the first appearance of Deadpool. So Wade Wilson in that Wolverine movie. What was the Wolverine movie? Was it X-Men Origins Wolverine? The one where Gambit was in it too. That's actually a really good movie. I liked all the Wolverine movies. I liked them all. So some people are like, oh, the one they went to Japan in, where it's like they dropped a nuclear bomb and stuff, and he helps the guy, and it's all this. I thought they were really good. Awesome. Ashley Bastillos, correct me if I pronounce that wrong. Helping. Awesome. Thank you for the answer. And again, it doesn't matter what answer you give me. I don't want to taint the poll, so I just want to reach out and make sure the community has got their voice heard on this. Helping. So it turns out majority of people say they're helping. Now, of course, my first instinct is that, well, I imagine every person thinks it's helping has a vested interest in community coins in some way. So they are aligned, with to think that way. Nothing wrong with that. Just saying. I imagine it would be different if nobody, was owned community coins. And it was like this niche thing. It's no, everyone just buy the core coins. Which could you say that happened during their launch of PulseChain? I don't know. That'd be an interesting conversation as well, I guess. But again, a lot of good comments here. I'll go through a couple before I get into some of the pieces I want to get to. But this is a good one I thought from Melahexkin. Do Ethereum coins help or hurt ETH? And yeah, that's a great point. Like the answer again, kind of is on a scale of like what kind of projects launch on them, when they launch on them, at what point do they take a bunch of money away from people buying ETH because they're selling it to get to the coin that thinks they're going to do better than that's going to do better than ETH. I almost feel like the case study is Solana and the Trump coin. I feel like there's something there where all the other, because it happened, I think I heard chat, correct me on this or give me some more data. I heard that I was hearing that a lot of the other Solana altcoins sold off. I don't know if Solana actually sold off or not, but a lot of altcoins, those Solana sold off to go into Trump, because what do you sell first? You sell, the riskier assets, right? It's oftentimes the community coins of whatever chain. And will it ever go back? Is it just like a big money drain? What if a lot of money goes into Ethereum? Is that also, Chad, if you're familiar with this, is that what happened? Did a lot of the money from the Trump coin on Solana actually get bridged over and then buy ETH with it? Is that where a lot of it came from, to buy ETH with? Actually, I haven't been following that rabbit hole precisely, but that'll be interesting as well. So also Yash here, HexDeep369, global liquidity turning on alts, taking a different angle. I mean, again, not wrong here as well, as far as the story of why price is down. Really wouldn't ask why price is down, but also interesting commentary on why price is down across a lot of alts, including PulseChain. And again, I wasn't insinuating that the price of PulseChain core coins were down because of community coins, but I like the saying as well. Richard not being or willing to stream is hurting all DeFi. Interesting. He is one voice of many loud one. I mean, he'll not. I would agree that, again, not having expectations for him to do that. I'm not concerned one way or another. But if you think about him being active and what that voice felt like around, I mean, it was just 2 or 3 times, or 2 or 3 years ago at this point, even when he was doing spaces, I mean, his voice carried weight like on the spaces and on streams and everything else. So yeah, don't forget that when Richard is, streaming and doing spaces and doing, voice stuff, interactively engaging with all of crypto, then, that there's a lot of weight behind those words, and there's a lot of, good practices he promotes and stuff like that too. So it's not just us that is affected by him not engaging broadly. It is all of DeFi that in that space too. So pretty good. This is a really good one too. Former X Liquidity says, I can't shield core charts. Green candles bring the boys to the yard. That is an interesting perspective too. Showing somebody a chart of a yet to be impressive. Who knows if it'll be impressive or not in the future? We certainly hope it's the most impressive, the biggest, the best green candles of Hex and the new Hex, the Hex on PulseChain and PulseX and Pulse and Ink and everything. Those charts, you could argue, are yet to be impressive to broader crypto. And again, when they're so impressive, are you buying the top? Are you too late? All that stuff too. Interesting perspective that you could have coins that are on PulseChain that do really well, and those charts could be more attractive for onboarding people than even the cores. I think that's a good point. That is some data there. Anything that brings or keeps people on PulseChain is a win. Also an interesting point. So that's something I've talked about before too. Keeping people on the chain by having projects and things that keep their interest, and they don't want to go to Solana. They don't want to go to Ethereum. They don't want to go to, some other chain that's popular or has building opportunities or otherwise. That is maybe an underrated point too. It's kind of easy to say, but at the same time, the depth of that statement is probably has had a really big impact. If it was just Hex on PulseChain and no builders came and there wasn't, we just had, but then, okay, where I was going with that is, and you had the price performance that we've had, which hasn't been 10,000x, but also you got to sprinkle in that, well, the dilution of buying power from other sacrifices, other coins launching, other, legit projects and scam projects that have soaked up liquidity from that. Could Hex be doing much better without that too? I think there's a fair case to be made for that as well. So it's not just, I think there is this like spectrum on PulseChain. It's like the core coin maxi spectrum of Well, you know what makes the price go up for the core coins? Buying core coins and stop buying other coins. So the spectrum of that on one end, and the other end could be like, do you want PulseChain to be a ghost chain? Of course, we need all these projects. Of course, we need as much building as possible. Of course, all this will be good for the core coins in some way someday. Even though again, both sides are kind of narrative based instead of and are more complicated than that as well. So one from Crypto Coffee here is an interesting one too. They keep money on chain and usually have to at least buy PLS to get them. There is this, keeping on the same chain type of thing. Again, not chasing shiny objects on other chains when there's shiny objects to be chased here. And PLS being the main pair, main trading pair for many coins. So perhaps good for PLS type of thing too. Also, we got of course, the PulseX angle here helps buy and burn. We like that buy and burn. And then I don't see a lot of support for core coins on this too. I see mostly some pretty compelling arguments for community. Not going to explain long thread on this one. It is there's I would love explanations of everything if you're up for it. They're PulseChain.com. So they're both true. They're helping and hurting. Let's see. Let's scroll on. I'm going to get to some of the pros and cons and stuff. I've got some content produced for as well. Here's one. Yes and no. If coin attracts new users from outside the ecosystem, that is very positive. Otherwise, huge negative. So that's something that is very hard to get stats on. I mean, unless you literally ask people, did you come here because you saw something interesting on the chain? I'd actually love if we were able to poll people and have that be a answerable question that we'd have good data on, because that's always the ideal, right? It's always like, oh, we're every coin, every founder, right? They're all like, oh, we're bringing new money in. And it's like, maybe, right? Maybe. I've talked about before the how I determine which projects I'm interested in. And it's usually around, do they have utility? Do they have obvious onboarding? Do they lock up more money on chain? There's kind of this tiered level, like 1, 2, 3. If that's one of those things, if there's obvious onboarding, obvious utility, or obviously helping people lock up liquidity on chain and keep on the chain, then usually I'm pretty positive on it and may even promote it or talk about it more and stuff like that. But everything else is a coin flip. Everything else is maybe, So I'm not saying I understand the facets of every single category, although I feel like I've been around a while. I've seen quite a bit. I do try to, I think I don't try to make things make sense. I try to see if things make sense too, which that's kind of, if you're a founder of a new coin, of course you're going to be like, oh, you should love my thing, because, it's easy to talk yourself into your thing's going to be great in some way too. And a lot of things are going to be true like that, and some things aren't. So let's see. I'm not going to read all of these, but no community coins equals no community. I don't know. I mean, you got a huge community from Hex game PulseChain. So again, this is not an argument for only Hex being on PulseChain as the only community coin. I'm just saying there's some interesting pieces on this. Okay, so I'll just scroll here and then talk about. Let me talk to chat real quick and I'll come back to it. Tyndale, Icosa and Hedra are going to be insane. I certainly hope so. I'm bullish on Alex. There's a few founders that I really like in the ecosystem, and I'm probably like, whatever they build, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be great. And I'm very excited to see what's going on? We got a lot of stuff. There's a tall order. He's been talking about a lot of different things that we've yet to see yet. Data center, Hedron Icosa, or Icosa Hedron V2. He even once talked about like a validator hardware kit, something around that, I think. Yeah, I forget. Maybe something. I think there's one other thing on the list. I'm sure I have the list somewhere. What's up, Tam Tam? How's it going? Welcome. Kirby asks, what's the most trusted platform to have someone stake PulseChain for you? I don't know if you're talking about the validator angle or you're talking about like staking. I mean, because you can, I think of like as an LP angle, for example. First thing come to, you can stake your LP tokens right on PulseX. I think there's a few platforms that I've talked about. I even had one on the show. So I've had Project Pi on the show before too, talking about it. What else? I'm not sure. I don't do a lot of, outside of, again, I like validating at a natively and doing stuff like that too. Not for everyone, of course, but I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I don't have a lot of experience letting someone else do that. So, but there are some community projects I've heard about and talked about before. What's up, Conspiracy Crypto? How's it going? Again, just because I don't say someone's project or name or something, it's not like this, silence is violence type junk. It's like, just because I'm not actively promoting a certain thing doesn't mean I don't like it. Doesn't mean anything. I completely choose to do whatever I want and at the time that I want to do it. So it's nothing. It's like, I don't know. You see some people are like, oh, if you don't talk about my thing, you're hurting people, or you're taking opportunity away from them or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's such an easy thing to say. And every single, sub community, every single founder, every single person it's almost natural to take, you may really, really, really want people to talk about your thing. And it's just have no expectations. Let's go with the have no expectations mindset. Have no expectations I will ever shill or talk about any community project, and then I will focus on the core coins. So, you won't be disappointed if I do, and you'll be pleasantly surprised if I do. And I don't need to get every project. I don't need to be in everything. I don't want to be. I specifically choose to avoid spending time and attention on most things. So I like it. That's what I do. I'll be me. I'll be the best version of me that I can be, as much as I need to be. Anyways, so arguments for core coins. Again, a lot of people in this poll say helping. So arguments for community coins. Again, you got trading opportunities that could be good for core coins as well, buying and burning, PulseX, all that stuff. But again, may dilute focus, energy, capital, splitting and buying pressure from the core assets. It's like, I feel like asking people, if you ask people, right when PulseChain launched, did you buy Hex? They'd probably be like, you get people, do a poll. How many of you bought Hex in the last, 6 months? You have a lot of people say yes. I bet if you did the same poll today, and maybe I'll do that poll, and you ask people, have you bought Hex? Have you bought, a significant amount? Let's say like 1 million. Have you bought 1 million Hex, or I don't know, you could come up with a good number in the last 6 months? I bet the number would be wildly different, because a lot of people are under this idea that they want to buy leverage on Hex. They want to buy leverage on PulseChain. They want to buy leverage. They want to, again, maximize those gains while also, of course, what are you doing? You're maximizing the risk of things that haven't been around 5 years, false operation, all that stuff too. So, and that's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just, that's the trade-off. That is the thing. You're going for more risk. So you may have a lot of winners and you may have some losers. And every time, even Sami talks about too, he says all the time, don't sell your core coins for XYZ. Maybe he'll be talking about a coin, or Sami and other people too. Oh, don't sell your core coins for this. I tend to not treat people. This is completely separate from that, by the way. But I try to treat people like they're not like they're stupid. Like they'll make whatever decision they want. I don't try to. I'm pretty transparent about what I think about different stuff when I talk about it. I like having these conversations, bullish and bearish ones. But also know people be tempted to get a bag around something. So no matter who talks about it, if I talk about something, people probably may be tempted to get a bag of it. And they may get a bigger bag. And they may start promoting it. And they convince themselves it's going to give them more gains than Hex or Pulse. And then they become admin in Telegram. And then they change their username and their headline. And I've been around I've seen it all. For better, unfortunately, I've seen it all. And some of these people, they're going to have great luck and they're going to make millions this cycle, and it's going to be great. But I don't pretend to have control over other people's actions. I just don't optimize my content for that. However, I can control my own, and I can choose when to speak about what I do, and when I do so imperfectly and acknowledging the trade-offs, of course. So I don't know. I'm never. People are going to do what they're going to do, and again, I wish them the maddest of gains, but there are definite trade-offs with some of these decisions going on. So, dilution. So arguments for community coins. Again, you have this trading opportunities, all that stuff, but also, the counter be dilution, liquidity enhance. So also liquidity. Buying the coins requires Pulse or increases demand in some way. But again, you could be selling it for Pulse too. Maybe you're providing liquidity for Hex one day, and then you're like, oh, I'm only making 20% over here. I can make 150% with this other thing. And then you go do that. So it's taking liquidity away too. Again, you can do all these mental gymnastics to be like, oh no, but it's really helping. And a lot of it's just, a lot of it's hopium. A lot of it literally is like, I hope it's helping. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to do what's right for me. Right. That's an unfortunate thing too. Slight tangent, but it's like, that sucks about waiting for price to go up and stuff. Again, a lot of people come here to make money, come here for DeFi, but most people come here. Yeah, they come here to make money one way or another. And they may start with, I can just come here and buy it, hold it, and the price will go up, right? That's ideal. That's what, that's what people want to happen. Historically, with non-scam products, a lot of times that works. We can see the charts. But I start getting impatient, missing these arbitrary deadlines and these implicit or explicit expectations. And then they go, well, this isn't working. When that could purely be an emotional calculation. I'm going to miss out on gains. I need to start trading and start timing the market, start moving my bets to different coins. This thing isn't running. I've seen the light. I know, I understand what I need to do now. I know this is how the market works. I was so foolish before. And that sounds like just you convincing yourself of something. Like, it doesn't mean it's necessarily true or false. Yeah, of course, a lot of people start out naive in crypto in different ways. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's like, I need to start making ROI now. I need to make a coin and focus on promoting it instead of, Hex or PulseChain or whatever. Nothing wrong with creating your own coin. Just saying, this is how it goes a lot of times. And convince myself there's a way that's making PulseChain better, and call everyone who doesn't support a toxic maxi and don't understand why my coin of the 500,000 ones would be the one that couldn't possibly fail, or it must be, I tried my best, And at the end of it's like, oh, I've given this community enough. I've did enough, right? And then hopefully they don't start scamming people and in the name of like, I deserve gains now, whatever. I'll make it a win-win. I need to get mine. I got to take care of myself. It just evolves and all that stuff. And it's just like, even if it started from wholesome beginnings, it sucks. So I wish everyone not that to be part of their story. Hopefully they don't have to go through that. But anyways, that's what sucks about waiting a long time. It can do that. So free people make free choices. I just hope a lot of you make the best long-term instead of shortcuts in short-term. All right. So community engagement attracts new users. This is the arguments for community coins. Do community engagement attracts new users through, interest in projects and stuff. Real DeFi also could run into scams. Could damage, the ecosystem or lose people money, all this stuff too. There's two sides to everything. I don't like this. I don't play this like, oh, only one narrative. Let's only go for this one thing. If you're, I like to explore the different pieces of this, and then you can, from that, a better understanding, you can figure out what you want to do. Yeah, increased transaction, chain activity, all that stuff too. But again, a lot of them may be short-lived and may, extract value in some way too, whether it meaning to or not. So arguments against community coins, or why they're, I guess in this case, could be hurting their core coins more than helping, for example. Every new token diverse trading volume from the core assets, other than if they're paired with them, of course, there's stuff like that. But it's not adding Pulse and PulseX pairs. It's not adding Hex and eHex. It's not adding, the ink farms and stuff like that too. But on the other side, again, increasing the amount of trading and transaction fees and all that stuff help validators. They help, staking and all kinds of other stuff too. All the fees. Quality control. So yeah, hard to maintain standards across the different projects. Some are better DeFi, some are worse DeFi. But the market will decide. The market can naturally select some of these better projects, and other ones just, kind of just get less attention and all that stuff. One interesting thing too about this, there could be, again, if you had, it's not like all the devs that are doing community projects would have been Hex devs or PulseChain devs or otherwise. However, that is one interesting piece of it is the devs. You could totally say I'll probably be on the side of, yeah, we can attract more devs to the ecosystem having these community projects. However, the more there are, the more they're spread out, and the less they're like focused on, particular ones that could be the winners. Again, that kind of just reminds me of like capitalism and having to go through that anyways, where there's winners and losers and stuff. But that is one piece of, if there were, for example, 20 or 30 community projects that are just really, really solid, and they have all the devs are just working on those. Imagine what you could do with those versus having, a few hundred. Pros and cons. And then, yeah, I think the market dilution, again, you start, first you like Hex, and then you just shift to like, okay, I need to put my energy into my own coin, my own project, my own thing. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it's clearly, it's hard to do both. It is hard to, spend the balanced number of time when you're clearly more incentivized a lot of times when you have your own project to make it do well. And then again, hope that it helps the coins and stuff like that too. So again, trade-offs. Again, everything's trade-offs. There's no right and wrong. There's only trade-offs. And everyone gets to choose which trade-offs they prefer. More projects could be more innovation, but maybe less stability. And then, yeah, it could be faster growth, but less quality control. And you may have plenty of scams come along too, and people lose money on that type of stuff. And that also hurts the reputation. That hurts investors, because you come here, you come to PulseChain, and you buy a scam that goes to zero. Are you staying in PulseChain? You've been here a month or two. Are you staying in PulseChain? You're going to go somewhere else. That sucks. Want people to come here and buy good projects. If you onboard somebody through a bad project and they come here and they lose their money, that nobody thinks about the counter argument of onboarding people. Oh, the community project, it helps onboarding. Yeah, if they get into, they could have, maybe they could have heard about, a better product at some point, but instead the worst project, they heard about it first. So they got into that group and then they didn't do so well. So there's that too. Liquidity, again, everyone, I think there's a good argument for community projects bring liquidity, but at the same time, it's broader. Like, I guess you'd have to look at what are the trade-offs with broader versus deeper liquidity? A lot of pairs too. That'd be an interesting conversation. Of course, drama and unity, community size. Larger community can be more fragmented. I mean, it's like in PulseChain, I feel like we have like 1,000 different communities in one giant one. Is everyone rowing the same way, right? And then risk versus reward. Again, why are you buying something that's leveraged on the ecosystem versus buying the ecosystem? You want to take on more risk, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's fundamentally, that's what you're doing, right? So, no, everyone's like, oh, I want the risk. I'm okay with the risk. And then, they have to wait a long time for price to go up, or they lose money. Unfortunately, sometimes things rugs and stuff too. So that's a big piece of it, and it sucks, and want it to happen less. But yeah, those are some pieces. It's not just this black and white, like one's helping, one's hurting. There is this like kind of deeper conversation we can have about it. And I'm glad to have that with you all today. So I get to chat, wrap up here in a minute. I caught that last bottom hex for Sorghum. Cool. Well, yeah, let's do a price check. Let's do a price check. I haven't seen the price I really try not to look at prices lately. I'm not super interested in what the prices are recently. But I do remember hex went down to around 0.13, I believe. I saw it around that point, and then 0.15. Let's do some doublings. Let's do some doublings. I could have bought it before it doubled. Could have bought it before it doubled. Could have bought it before it doubled. Doubled. Sideways doesn't need to be better. I think it's fine as is. Are you talking about PulseChain? Give me some context on that. I'm not sure where it was, where we were on that one. Millions of dollars of ink are being printed each week and sold in PLS or liquidity bond farms to keep the price down. I think it'd be hard to, let me know if you have some data on that. Making the case that ink being sold is keeping the price down. I haven't heard that before, and I would like to see some data if you have any on it. So yeah, they're liquidity bonded, but how much of that is, which has the bigger difference? PLS being sold, Hex being sold, PulseX being sold, or ink? How much is being sold, and how much the farms are benefiting the ecosystem versus not? I don't know. I haven't heard that case be made yet. So, why did I say period? Good CSJ. Welcome. Price check on aisle 5. Aisle 5. Again, I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. Thank you all for having this conversation with me. Got a lot of great content come up, especially, if you're subbing, I just put this on the community piece on YouTube. But if you are not following me on Twitter, I post a lot of content, especially lately. I've been posting a lot of content on Twitter. So the X platform. So check that out. Actually, let's go through this one real quick. I came to PulseChain for the mad gains. I stayed for I have not looked at these results yet. Wow, Red Bull. Max gains haven't come yet. Not a bad answer. Delayed gratification, Max gains. In stake. I came for the Max gains, stay for the community. I just like some of the answers are just funny. Like they're not even like bad answers. They're just like, it is interesting to see that people do have their favorite developers in the ecosystem. Like you could say some people probably stay for Alex to see what he's cooking too. So we have some, we got some devs here. Sword, PI. Is this the state of feeling some? Every once in a while, yeah, it does. You do feel like Randy. I didn't hear no bell. I'm still here. I made it for the political state. Oh, I like that one. Pulse somebody. I'm in it for the political statement. That's a good one. I like that. Stay for this, man. Hey, I will say again, I don't know how many times I've bragged on Somi, but this guy, I bet a lot of people, he keeps a lot of people engaged. I will say that. So rest of the entirety. Oh man, the ride. Yep. Came for the Max gains, stay for the Max gains. A lot of great answers out there. Oh, will we see this one day too? Lex, Richard on Lex. We'll see. We shall see. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you're all doing well. Happy weekend. Don't know if you'll see me tomorrow or Monday. We will see if I got something to talk about. I may pop on. But that is all I got for you today. Got any other questions? Can get everything in the chat, but just at me on X for follow-ups or catch me live next time. But that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.